This is the V2V Podcast, Survivor Series with Marcus Parrish and Alexei Lindes, Diamond Ranch Academy, academics, program staff.
The first person that we're looking at in the programming section is a guy named Mac Brown, program manager. And we have no information about him, but we kind of do because the next person on the list is a young woman by the name of Ashley Brown, the wife of Mac Brown, and also the mom of Riken and Rogue. She wanted to make sure that we knew that she had two kids named Riken and Rogue.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a program manager
Lovely.
and also the cheer coach. She's a cheerleader.
Oh, man.
So Ashley Brown, program director. She is not a licensed mental health or medical professional. Go figure. Her education, she's a certified professional life coach.
Okay.
I don't know where you become a certified professional life
Professional life coach. That's very
coach.
strange.
Do you even need a certification to become a life coach, or can you just say that you're a life coach?
Yeah.
I think you can just say it.
Yeah.
She studied at Snow College on a dance scholarship.
Uh-huh.
High school graduate. She has, it just says she has training as an EMT/B certification. So that might be a little bit of a tricky thing. I don't think she's an emergency medical technician, but maybe she took a look at some of the coursework in a brochure, perhaps.
Mm.
Because if I was an EMT, I would say yes. I'm a professional fire and rescue person. I would say it. I wouldn't say I had training in the area, because that really doesn't matter. I've had training as a doctor, but I'm not a doctor. But I did look at the brochure. Ashley, with her dance scholarship education, she's been a program manager, program director, parent communications director, a clinical assistant, observation and assessment staff, youth development counselor, all those things. And she also has a little statement. I have worked in the industry since 2010 and became a certified professional life coach in 2016. I am forever grateful for the Diaz family and the positive impact Diamond Ranch has had on my relationships and my life. There's something wrong with this, very wrong with this picture of Ashley Brown here. She seems really, really unqualified to do anything of the kinds of job titles that she has. Maybe except for the cheerleading part. Next on the list is Jace Jones. And Jace Jones is the assistant evening director. He is not a licensed mental health or medical professional in Utah. He is also listed as program director / coach. And his education is that he is currently pursuing a computer information technology degree at the local community college. He has a high school diploma. He's also apparently certified PCS. And I think that's like a CNA, certified nurse's assistant. And he's also certified in first aid. Jace started working at Diamond Ranch Academy in late 2011 and was hired on as a weekend youth development counselor. He applied just as a job while attending college. I worked for a few months and with every intention of moving away from DRA once I had completed my associate's degree. As the months went by, I began to see changes in many of the youth that attended DRA and found myself curious as to what was exactly helping the youth. So he was working there, and he saw kids changing, and then became curious as to what exactly was helping them.
Yeah.
That's weird. If you're there working there, why would it be a mystery to you what's helping them? If you're saying that they're being helped, why would you be so curious about it?
I mean,
you go ahead. Yeah.
When you visit a cult, sometimes you're curious about, the goings on. It's quite fascinating how you can see 400 kids walking in a line and being obedient and supposedly following a structure.
Well, right. It's this is one of those areas that we're going to get into a little deeper about appearances versus reality.
Yeah.
I can see that if someone was hired onto a place like this as a weekend part-time guy, and
yeah,
and it's a school. I don't know. You may not know a whole lot about the place, and suddenly you notice that everyone's standing in straight lines, and you're curious about it because your other experience with kids, and as a kid yourself, you weren't about that.
Yeah.
There's a reason, and part of the reason they're maybe seemingly so obedient and quiet and nice, or whatever the case is, there might be some very specific reasons why these kids are choosing to not act normal because of repercussions, or punishment. Punishment that the school doesn't believe in. Mm-hmm.
I also want to mention that even the conversation going on and the talk coming out of the kid's mouth isn't normal. It's program and it's under subject of duress. So if they said something wrong, or if they said something out of the norm of the program, then they would be punished. Yeah. Therefore, they can't actually talk. By the way, I just watched an Abjust training video, and it's fucking ridiculous. It's like military police intervention techniques for intelligence and military. There's a whole bunch of firing of guns and people doing hand-to-hand combat. I mean, how that would apply at all to this program and these kids is fucking ridiculous.
The accountant, too. Right.
Even better,
It's the accountant who's got this training for some odd reason. He's going to protect the money, is what it is.
Yeah.
No one's getting near my money. So this guy, his statement continues, so he's really curious, and then immediately says, it's no mystery that there are some phenomenal people that work here at DRA, and every one of them contributes in helping these youth get back on track. I continue to work at DRA because I have seen so many youth come in lost, but leave with the tools they need to succeed and stay on track with their lives. The relationships I have built with students and staff alike have been pivotal in my personal development. So he's saying two totally different things. First, he's like, I stuck around because I was curious, and then immediately he explains why it's so great. So you can't be both of those things.
No.
So I think it sounds like you really drank the Kool-Aid. Why this guy who was pursuing a computer information technology degree would stick around as the assistant weekend director, the evening director, makes little sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would you go to school to become a computer guy and then say, you know what, all that schooling, forget it. I'm gonna be like the nice evening whatever at the school, like the guy who comes in and says hello to everybody.
That to me sounds like brainwashing and cultism. It sounds like he saw something and he ditched his entire old life and his entire course of life for this program.
I mean, he's been there a while, too. He started in 2011, so he's going on, several years now. and started out as a youth development counselor. Again, like what in the world is he developing? Like what is going on there? How is that even possible?
Yeah.
That anyone would call him that or give him a job that called that.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. No. Several other names here with little or no background information. Alex Garcia, Program Director. Rodney Meller, Program Director. Nick Contris, Program Director. McKay Lewis, Program Director. And then Brittany O'Mara, also Program Director. And her education is that she graduated from high school, and she has child care certification in the state of Utah, meaning that she's a licensed babysitter, and her work experience consists of child care at Little Harvard Academy, which I think is the baby version of this stuff. It sounds like, just with the name alone.
Yeah.
Because people should be aware that there are baby and toddler versions of these programs as well.
Yes.
Like, that's something that people don't even consider, but of course there are, because it's easier for a school like this to get elementary and toddlers and babies that just go through the whole track rather than try to pull kids from outside. So I guess the child care daycare at Little Harvard Academy sounds like one of those situations. Why would you call it child care an academy anyway?
I don't know. It's so bad. It's really disgusting. The pipeline. It's a direct pipeline.
Exactly. That could also be a reason why some of these places seemingly have less bad reviews than one might think, because many of the students who are there are totally conditioned to that environment anyway, so it's normal because that's all they've ever known.
Yeah.
It's when the kids come from outside, that's when things get shaken up a little bit, and you get some of the stuff that we're going to read later about how terrible it is. It's important to put that in context, where these different points of view are coming from. All right, so then we have Megan Reynolds, Program Director, no information, and then Jen Lewis, Program Director. She graduated from high school. She graduated as valedictorian from the Art Institute of Las Vegas with a bachelor's degree in advertising. And she's a 15-year member of the International Order of the Rainbow for Girls, which is a Masonic organization for girls.
Okay.
She was state president for the International Order of the Rainbow for Girls in Nevada. Special events coordinator, advertising specialist, brand marketing account executive, brand marketing account supervisor and trainer, program assistant, and now she works as a program director and volleyball coach. Again, just the weirdest backgrounds some of these people have that don't really seem to apply at all to what they're doing.
Huh.
All right. Next, Dallin Beard, Program Director. Kyle Jaycox, Program Director. William Hormel, Program Director. And William Hormel has an Associate's of Science in Business and Accounting. He's a resident manager at Switch Point Community Resource Center. Program Assistant, Diamond Ranch Academy. RFI Assistant, I don't know what RFI is. And then RFI Director. Now he's, again, a Program Director. Anthony Van Orden, Program Director, and then Tyler Stevenson, Program Director. Like I said, all the people that I just say the title, there is no background information they provided, so we don't know what their backgrounds are. And there are a lot of them. I would imagine that there's not much worth mentioning. They don't really have much of an educational background or work experience background, or they're so new that they haven't updated the website. I just have to, say this again, that, this information that we're providing it's really to parents or potential students there. I mean, do you really want to spend $10,000 a month for up to a year to send your kid to this place that seems to have staff with very little appropriate background? You can even set aside like all the negative aspects that we've discussed already about the background and all these incidents, and whether or not they provide a real education, which we'll kind of get into next, but just the background of the staff alone. If it's such a great place, why can't they actually attract staff that has appropriate backgrounds in education? Why are they hiring people with really substandard credentials? And it's interesting that they're kind of hiding in plain sight, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I doubt that many parents or potential students or people who are interested really dig that deep into these backgrounds. Because what you have to do on the website is you click on the heading, and then you have a list of names with pictures of people, and if you click on them, that pops up their title and background. And there's like 100 people, and who's gonna have the time to look at every person? You know who has time? I've got time.
We have time.
We have time. Like I said, this is really a free service for people to be able to really find out about this place and then other places like it. And then they can make some very important phone calls about, what are you guys doing with my kid, and get your kid out of there. I don't want to blame parents who've been deceived. Once parents have information, and they really know what's going on, then I think they're obligated to take some action. But if they've been deceived, got their kid into a situation they thought was going to be a good one, into the so-called premier boarding school, and then find out that that the people that are teaching and taking care of their child are totally inadequate. Once they know that, then they become obligated to do something.
Correct.
Right. Parents, don't feel bad. Maybe you didn't know, but now that you're getting this information, you should probably take some action and remove your child from this situation for sure. The next thing is what are called the programs, different age group schools or separate schools or programs within the academy. So the first one, they all have very nice names too.
You have been listening to the V2V Podcast Survivor Series with Marcus Parrish and Alexei Lindes, Diamond Ranch Academy. Stay tuned for the next episode, Program Curriculum. And as always, thanks for watching.